One of the greatest breakthroughs in my spiritual journey, and just one of the realizations that just shook my whole foundation of everything that I ever thought was correct, was when I realized that my experience with human beings, human affection, human love, just dealing with the human condition, when I realized how those experiences were shaping my relationship with God and how I viewed Him and how I treated our relationship and frankly how I treated God, it really shifted my mind in a way that I just cannot go backwards from. More specifically though, when I realized that my relationship with the authority figures in my life was what was shaping my relationship with God and shaping my view on God, that was what did it. So I guess that I would take my experiences with people and the authority figures in my life and take that and compare and think that I could operate and deal with God that way, or that God would deal with me that way. No, no, no. Let me read something real quick. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith. It is always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. Prophecy and speaking in tongues will become useless, but love will last forever. That's 1 Corinthians 13:4-8. Now, with my previous mindset, first of all, I thought the scripture only applied to marriages. Now, in my growth, I understand that this applies to any and all, every and all aspects of really human interaction, whether it be your mother, your father, sister, brother, cousin, uncle, co-worker, boss, best friend, boyfriend, husband, wife. It doesn't matter. It applies to any and all aspects of human interaction, because we're all supposed to love ye one another. So if we're all supposed to love ye one another, this scripture is literally the definition of what love is. Okay? Also, the fact that God is love is what really shifted my view on this scripture. So, one, understanding that God is love means that God is the only being that can portray this scripture in its entirety 100% of the time, because this is who He is. This is who He is, okay? God is love. But that also means that if we are assigned with the task to love ye one another as God loved us, we should be aiming to operate in the fullness of the scripture for the entirety of our life, for everyone. But being that we are humans, being that we are flesh, there is nary a chance that we are going to portray this 100% of the time, period. And if you're expecting anybody walking the face of this earth that is not Jesus Christ returning to earth to portray this 100% of the time, you will be disappointed every single time. That's the first thing I had to understand. Second thing I had to understand is I can't come to God with my earthly view on what love is and my earthly behaviors, or with the aspect that God is going to behave like humans when it comes to love. Because humans can only love to the capacity of what they have the capacity of. God's capacity of love is endless because God is love. He is the blueprint of love. Hello? The blueprint. So that means, for me, I was walking around thinking, okay, the love I experienced from the authority figures in my life, or just the people in my life, period, was very passive. It was like, I love you, but I really don't care what you got to say. I love you, but I really don't care what it is that you want to do. I love you, but I really don't care what you got going on for real. I really just want you to do what I'm telling you to do. and we could just move on from there. That's not how God operates. You understand? God doesn't give up on you just because you're not living how he wants you to live. He doesn't abandon you just because, you're not walking with him. He's still there. And he does care. He cares what you have going on. He cares how you feel. He cares about your thoughts. He cares about your desires. He does care. Or I for sure grew up thinking that love was supposed to be this controlling thing. Like, no, what I say is all that goes. And if you're not operating in that, then really you're the ops, like real bad. God is not moved that way. He's not going to force you to come into the kingdom. He's not going to force you to follow him. He's not going to force you to love him, because it wouldn't be love then. But when you're ready and when you seek him with your heart, your whole heart, with a genuine heart, he will show himself. But until then, he's not going to shove himself in your face. Like, he's not going to force you. So I also thought that love was conditional. Like, as long as you're within the confines of what it is that I like, we're cool. The minute you step outside of that, you're everything but a child of God, and I don't really mess with you. And you're all the names, all the things. God don't move like that. God don't move like that. His love is unconditional, everlasting, unending, because his capacity is infinity. Like, his capacity is never ending. So his love is never ending. So you could be, because I used to think that I was like just a really bad person. But God still loved me unconditionally. He didn't love what I did. God is not going to stop loving you because you're showing your ankles and wearing lipstick and fingernails. He's not going to love you because you're a weed head today. If you put it down today and you're not a weed head tomorrow, he's still going to love you. So I had to understand that for sure. Love is also not abusive, okay? I don't care how mad you make somebody. I don't care what you said. I don't care what you did. Nobody should be putting their hands on you, degrading you, belittling you. That is not love, and I don't care who it's from. I don't care if it's from your mama, your daddy, your husband, your cousin, your best friend. Nobody should be demeaning you and abusing you, period. And God wouldn't want you dealing with that, period. And there is no such thing as tough love. Love should not be tough. It literally says love is patient and kind. Patient and kind and long-suffering. There is no such thing as tough love. If it's tough, it ain't love. There's a such thing as constructive criticism, guidance, and things of that nature. But love should not be tough. Letting somebody fall on their face when you have a solution that could help them is not love. Love is not, it does not demand its own way. It's not irritable. It's not jealous. It don't rejoice in injustice. It rejoices in truth. It's not rude, meaning abuse is out of the question, period. Love keeps no record of being wronged. So, conditional, out of the question. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, endures every circumstance. So love being passive, out of the question. So with that, evaluate how you're loving people, how people are loving you, and how you're loving God. Because his love never changes. His love is always 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. Always. But are you loving like 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8? Are you allowing people to love you like 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8? God bless you.